Hello, guys. Thank you for your patience. We want to begin, as the thumbnail says, because I got some questions about this specifically yesterday. What was read at the LAPD commission meeting by me? Okay, so today I thought I would start breaking it down so that you guys can start understanding what we're talking about here, what this document represents in terms of what Scientology has been violating. Okay. Because let's be absolutely clear about what we're talking about here. The law is the law. It is not a suggestion, it is not a guideline. It is not something that you can bend and twist or reframe to suit your own self-serving interests. The law states unequivocally that any adult, but specifically those in authority or caretaking, is legally obligated to report it. No exceptions, no excuses, you guys. But in Scientology, they have spent decades playing linguistic shell games with reality, distorting the definitions of abuse, of neglect, of mandated reporting, so that nothing ever officially rises to the level of needing to be reported. Because in their world, let's not forget, Owen Hubbard Jr. says the only real crime is getting caught. The only sin in Scientology is getting caught. Now, not caught by Scientology. In Scientology, it's a crime not to catch the people. So when we were kids, we were told never miss a withhold, never not find out. So yes, inside the hotel, they want to catch it. But the problem is, where is the report of what is done once they catch it? Let's talk about mandated reporting and what it actually means and how Scientology has systemically and deliberately failed it. A mandated reporter is anyone who works with or has the authority over children. How many Sea Org members are working or has the authority over children? Just truly ask yourselves, because you know what? In the Sea Org, you guys, this is what they do. They have Debbie Cook over here. She was like, you know, I don't know, 45 at the time. So here you have an adult. Well, guess where the children are? Right under Debbie Cook. Here she has the QualSec, okay, the Qual secretary. Well, this one, Qual secretary, was 14-year-old. So just by the fact that Debbie Cook sitting at the very top here had subservient 13-year-old MAA, 16-year-old supervisor, 15-year-old auditor. Each one of these numbers represents how many minors Debbie Cook had underneath her. So before you go, oh yeah, but Debbie Cook must have been a minister that really caught a lot of confessions on audits. No. Debbie Cook was the captain of the Flag Service Organization, and as such, was working and had authority over children. A lot of authority over children. I mean, she mandated every single thing that happened to us you guys. And again, where the reporting goes wrong here in this picture is that all of what's going on with these underage kids, the 15-year-old, the 13-year-old, the 16-year-old, the 14-year-old, all of this is being reported up to Debbie Cook. Oh, sir, we just found out this withhold from this adult that just told us that this kid and that kid did this. And all of that is just constantly flowing up to the top. All the executives are getting CC'd, carbon copied on the reports. So mandated reporters are anyone who has the authority over children. And yes, that means teachers, which in Scientology, they're very specific about which teachers they're selecting to put their kids under. Doctors, which they're also very, very pressed. Oh, who's the doctor? Is he safe pointed? Is he Dr. Minkoff? Is he the ones that believe that kids are adults? Clergy, Scientology that calls itself, oh, we couldn't be more religious, is what they say, these people. The ones that are nowhere to be found acting as mandated reporters anywhere, because they pretend that mandated reporting doesn't apply to them, because they pretend that the mandated reporting they do internal is what actually applies. These people are legally required to report any suspicion of child abuse, not investigate themselves. That's key here. For all of you that are wondering, Scientology was monetizing, including but not limited to, when they found out the felony was committed. Not only were they just not, these people weren't just shuffling people around. Remember, again, for the people in the back, Scientology made money contingent on that mother writing that report. Greg Sgroy, the man listed on the report, had to go get what? Oh yeah, audits. Audits were being done on Greg Sgroy. How much do you think those audits are going to run him up, to him and Greg Sgroy's family? Start getting your calculators out, you guys, and start putting it on your notes. How much money is Greg Sgroy paying to have this all floated away? The problem goes away. Get it? The problem goes away if you are part of the Scientology hotels and commercial buildings. If you have a paid membership there, the problem goes away. But where the problem is not going away is right now, where come to find out that these people are legally required to be reporting any suspicion of child abuse. Suspicion is enough. You know what? Something's not right here. I'm suspicious of this. That's what is required. When these people had kids inside of the Scientology hotels, working as, including but not limited to, maids, cleaners of the hotel, supervisors, auditors at the hotel, case supervisors, all of these posts were filled by minors, including but not limited to. Were there some adults there? Yes. And what were those adults? Imagine those adults that are, what was it? Having authority over children. Turns out that every single one of our seniors was a mandated reporter, according to the law. If that hotel would have been running with any type of law, our own Sea Org executive seniors should have been the mandated reporter, because they were going to have authority over us, even though we were told that we were volunteering, because we really did sign up for this as children, right, guys? That's a real thing. underage kids get brought into a hotel and they're all made to sign contracts. How does that make a shred of sense? And then when they signed the contract, they ended up under the authority of an adult who apparently Scientology seems to think that there's some secret law that applies to them where all of this does not apply to them, because our seniors were not mandated reporters anything. Our seniors would find out we were being SA'd and they would be blaming us for having that done to us. For the people in the back, for the people that are still not understanding what no more kids in Scientology means. No more kids in Scientology. Kids cannot consent to Scientology. There's no mandated reporters at the hotel. The people that are in authority of underage minors do not report any suspicious of child abuse. Let that sink in for all you guys that are teachers, for all you guys that are mothers, for all you guys that are watching that are medical doctors. How would that fly with you all? What would that do to your practice? What type of weight of the law would be coming down on you if it turns out, like Larry Nassar, who was a mandated reporter himself, he was committing the abuse? Oh, gotcha. Turns out that when the abuser is calling himself a mandated report, then what? Right? Because where was Larry Nassar reporting all the things he was doing, all the crimes he was doing to all those underage girls? Oh no. Turns out that abusers, when they're put on positions of mandated reporters, use that situation to figure out how to be complete and utter predators, have their claws sunk on kids, have all the adults watching, have all the parents CC'd, have all the parents in the know, have all the parents receive highly incriminating admissions of what is being done to the kid. Where is the mandated reporter in this childhood? Can anyone spot any? Because you better believe they went to the doctor, the Scientology doctor. I don't see nothing here. I see a really big Satan that is on a mission to save our world. So how many of the mandated reporters that actually do this as a job, that actually know the law, that actually don't think that a convicted felon can override mandated reporter laws are here? Think about that. Think about that. Really have it fully like sink in. Really sit with it. Daycare workers, law enforcement. How many mandated reporters on the chain does it take to have fully kneecapped? Scientology went through one by one. Teachers, kneecapped. Doctors, kneecapped. Therapists, kneecapped. Clergy, kneecapped. Social workers, kneecapped. Law enforcement, bought off. Daycare workers, kneecapped. So any suspicion of child abuse is not supposed to be investigated by themselves, yet they do that. Not to bury it, to decide whether it's really bad or not. They're required to report it to law enforcement or child protective service immediately. That's what's supposed to be happening inside the Scientology hotels and commercial buildings where they have underage kids under the authority of grown-ass men and grown-ass women that are giving themselves excuses to violate the law. That's the law. We just explained to you guys all the law. That's how it works. Because supposedly, according to the law, the pitch has been that the children come first. It always comes first. The safety of the children, out of anything the law preaches to really want to protect and really want to care for. Imagine that the pitch exists in the books, written in black and white, that they're supposed to be mandated reporters when adults oversee children with authority. What the fuck does anyone think an org board is? I just made you up the org board here. And you know what? How about we show you guys how many mandated reporters seem to be missing, completely nowhere to be found at the Scientology hotels. Because let's find out how many mandated reporters. Yes, the clergy. That was a new one for us too. Because like, what? The clergy is supposed to be a mandated reporter. We were told that you should be floating that. That's what they were telling the kids at the hotel. Oh no, that floats. Oh no, did they just violate your body? Because you're not a body. Don't worry about it. You're a thetan, you're floating, you're not a body. So, soon your auditor is going to take you in session and it is all going to float away. You have no idea what great, wonderful technology L. Ron Hubbard and his sycophant, grown, degenerate adults really figured out for themselves. That's what they tell you at the hotels. That's how they pitch it. So here you go, guys. I mean, literally, let's take a look at this right here. Take a look. Take a fucking look. Look at this. Debbie Cook had a child here, a child there, a child here, 5 children over here. How many adults were over here being the ones at the very top? All of these are mandated reporters according to what the law states. Again, let's really highlight this point, you guys, because I think in Scientology, they're not able to have attorneys to tell them how the law works. So the children in Scientology that didn't go to school are bypassing all their worthless, pathetic, infantile, idiotic attorneys that cash a lot of checks, mind you. My God, the attorneys of Scientology cash a lot of checks. And imagine that all the Scientology attorneys have no fucking clue that their client doesn't believe in mandated reporting. Isn't that interesting, you guys, that the very top firms of these United States are literally, kid you not, on retainers. The best of the best, the creme of the crop. Oh, we have the best. We have the best. So this is legal malfeasance, isn't it? This is a legal crime, isn't it? Yes. That's what no more kids in Scientology means. That's why kids cannot consent. That's why kids should literally not be in a hotel where they're surrounded by hundreds of thousands of random hotel paid adult members that get put in positions of authority over underage kids. And all of a sudden, they feel that mandated reporting does not apply to them. In Scientology, nothing comes before the protection of Scientology. Nothing. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. In Scientology, nothing, Nothing, nothing as fuck comes before the protection of their disgusting adult pen full of degenerates offering their kids, I said. Start writing that down. The Scientology parents offered their kids for this abuse. So damn, so we didn't have mandated reporters and our parents were subjecting us to the abuse. Write that down in your notes. That's what no more kids in Scientology means. For the people that are still confused in the community, for the people that are still like, oh, but I thought we were really going to do this and we were really going to do that. No, put that on your notes. Who are the who and the why? Who is the first person that L. Ron Hubbard and his sycophants kneecap? Your parent. Your first line of protection eroded. So yes, for the people that really want to go save a lot of parents out of there, go have at it. Make sure that that parent was not a mandated reporter, because if they were, you know what? The law is not agreeing with them right the fuck now. That's what's going on right now. The law is like, you know what? Nope, you got it fucking wrong all the fucking way, and you fucking always knew it, and you fucking had the best retainer lawyers that you could possibly find, and apparently they don't teach mandated reporting law in law schools in America anymore, because you know what? A convicted felon can be pitched an American bread god. That's how pathetic these people are. Nothing comes before the protection of Scientology. Not children, not victims, and not the truth. Those things do not matter. Do not matter at all. Scientology is going to protect is disgusting playden of degenerates that bring their kids, that subject their kids to this, that are all in on it, that are paying for it, endorsing it, consenting to it, overriding all consent, getting rid of all the mandated reporters. In Scientology, when a kid comes forward, when a kid says, I was hurt, I was in an out to D situation, is what they tell the kids to say when, you know, they're being essayed. This happened to me. They are told, no, you pulled it in. Now, what would have been the correct legal response if a Scientology kid just said that to any of the hundreds of mandated reporters in Scientology that decided the law doesn't apply to them? Glad that you guys are asking that question. We are reporting this immediately to law enforcement. You are safe now. This should have never happened to you. How many times has that happened in Scientology? This many. This many fucking times. Here. Write that on your notes, you guys. The amount of times that mandated reporters have abide by the law inside the Scientology hotels is this. Do you see it? 0. -0. They don't believe in mandated reporters. They don't believe that they need to do that. They believe they should be floating it with L. Ron Hubbard. So what happens in Scientology to children that report abuse? They are either not believed, or once they are believed, they're blamed. You pulled it in. You were tutti flowing that public. You have always been a 1-1. You've been very Casey lately. Maybe we were just re-stimulated. If you didn't understand what I just said, that's because that was how these pimps were talking to us. FYI, write that on your notes. In Scientology, we were getting locked up in a hotel room, interrogated for hours, blamed for being abused, blamed for having felonies committed on us. So let that sink in. Not only did you have to survive the literal rape, then you have to survive getting interrogated, being told that you pulled it in, that you also flowed 2D energy in the air, and that's what made it happen to you. That's what made it happen to you. Imagine, like, you tell a child that the reason that they got raped is because they were flowing flows of energy in the air. That's how psychotic, manipulative, criminal sons of bitches these people are. So for all of you that are still confused, we still don't get it, Serge. Everything seems wonderful. Everything seems great. If we can only do what? There's no mandated reporters inside the buildings. There's none. Get it? So for all the Kakamimi stories, let me tell you about my Scientology story. Let me tell you about Sinu. Let me tell you about all this garbage. There's no mandated reporters inside an entire chain of hotels and commercial buildings that specialize, as we have shown you guys all right here, in placing minors, guess where? Here, here, there, 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 there. Keep going down. This is all staffed by minors. The entire Scientology thing is staffed with minors, sometimes in executive positions. So imagine sometimes the kid, the 12-year-old, should be the mandated reporter. Let that sink in your head. So for all the people that are going like, but miniature adults, I mean, maybe they can have that right to think that a child is a miniature adult. So yes, a 12-year-old is supposed to know how rape works. So they really go mandate and report that. Right, Angie Blankenship? How many underage Commodore Messenger underage girls, how you guys like them, preteens or teens, were there in Angie Blankenship's entire org board of children underneath her, children underneath Debbie Cook, children underneath these degenerates that are hiding in their house like the snakes that they are. They're in hiding. They're coiled up in their $1 million that they got signed off to keep their mouth shut. Meanwhile, there were mandated reporters that got told, that got CC'd, that got videotapes, that got transcriptions. We told you all. What we showed at the LAPD commission is not but the fucking tip of the fucking iceberg. So for this community that still doesn't get what we're doing here, no more kids in fucking Scientology, because these people are a clear and present danger to every fucking child that is there. Every single last child is in danger right now, not when we were there. Mind you, yes, when we were there too. When we were there, it was all the time. But we're talking about right this second. We're talking about right this second. Kids are being blamed for getting raped. Or you're also forced to confess to their so-called crimes, you guys, because the lawyers of Scientology are very pressed that their little client never get asked any like type of incriminating questions. They want them to be, really cradled and canoodled. Oh, you can ask that of my client. Guess what the fuck the client of these lawyers doesn't give a fuck about? When they put a child inside one of those hotels, they can ask the child whatever the fuck they feel like fucking asking. That's an audit. And there's a case supervisor watching. So in case you go, oh, but maybe this all happened and no one knew. In what fucking world did they not know when they were video recording it, watching it, and giving it a grade? Like right here, you guys, in this mock next CS that I made, so that you all can start understanding what the fuck we're talking about. Mock next CS. Let's say that they're auditing Danny Masterson here. Here's his auditor, Joe Blow. Here's auditor's comments. Danny was sent to ethics again after we received KRs of him getting involved in gross out to D. Gross out to D. What does that mean? What he got convicted for. By several of his girlfriends. He is not taking full responsibility and needs his withholds pulled in full in order to fully clean him up. RTC was sent all the info, and the deputy RTC rep pack has ordered that he gets put on a tailor-made sec check to get to the bottom of his severe out to D behavior. Okay, so this is the type of reports that they're writing. Mind you, this is not going to go to any type of mandated reporter. This is not going to be shared with any fucking body. And even if they want to claim, oh, Serge, but yeah, the next CS is so religious, then why the fuck were you sending KRs to the ethics department? Why the fuck were the HCO confessionals? I am not auditing you. If I'm not auditing you, this is not religion. So for all of you that want to go, we're too stupid. No time for stupidity anymore, you guys. This community needs to get educated as to what type of dangers these kids are really actually in, and then start figuring out effective ways to stop that problem, to stop that issue. So right here, this is what they write about their people. This is not a report that is going to law enforcement. This is not a report that is going to anything mandated, nothing. This is going internal to Scientology, internal to the case supervisor, internal to the qualification secretary, because don't think this is, that's the other thing, okay? So for all of you that want to claim, oh, but it's very religious, only the auditor and the PC knew, bullshit. They were sending it around. This was passed around. Debbie Cook would arrive and go, let me look at Danny's folder. What's being done with him? I'm getting called and yelled at by David and his attorneys because we're not handling the flap. Let me really look. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, he really needs to get this withhold pulled. Oh, he was also getting a blowjob and forced it in the 3rd floor of the Celebrity Center room. Oh, okay, great. Oh, that he did that too. Oh, yeah, he's disgusting. Oh, yeah, he's gross. Oh my God, he's so out ethics. He's such a yeah. They purported that because they said he's disgusting, he's out ethics, he's a piece of shit. That was a way that they were like, oh, but then we must be good. We must be doing the right thing. Debbie Cook was a mandated reporter. She wasn't fucking mandated reporting anything, and she was getting full oversight over all the essay that took place at the Fort Harrison Hotel. Debbie Cook, come out of your fucking hole already and start coming the fuck clean. Because your little teary eye, oh yeah, I would have admitted to, killing babies if I needed to. Bullshit, Debbie Cook. You send how many girls to go get abortions? So miss us with your fucking bullshit performative theatrics at the courthouse where you go, you guys feel really bad for me. You were ordering abortions of including but not limited to underage girls, Debbie Cook. Yes, I said underage girls were also getting pregnant at the hotel, in case nobody knows. Where's the mandated reporting going on with that? Nowhere. Why? Why is there no reports about that? Ask Debbie Cook, ask the executives, ask the sycophants of L. Ron Hubbard that don't believe mandated reporter laws apply to them. We were told that it was our fault, and we pulled in the crime, the felony, the Class A felony being committed against us. We wheeled that in to ourselves. That is the Scientology way, to let kids go with that delusion that these adults are selling the kids with a full, straight face. Instead of mandated reporters doing their legal duty and alerting the authorities, they do nothing. Actually, worse, not nothing. They actively cover it up. They hide the crime. They protect the abuser. They twist reality so that the victim, the child, becomes the problem. The minor becomes the problem for having been abused. And what happens to the perpetrators? They're all safe. They're all safe. Bar Danny Masterson, they're all safe. Thanks to Scientology. Thanks to Scientology. Thanks to the technology of L. Ron Hubbard, the convicted felon that somehow attorney thinks overrides all mandated reported laws. No, but what are we going to do? I mean, L. Ron Hubbard said to do it like that. Let's really all grab our hands and pray and really, hallelujah. Those are these disgusting American attorneys that don't have an excuse. Good luck defending the indefensible attorneys that went to school, attorneys that had a great childhood, not growing up in a cult. How do they get away with it? With euphemisms, language manipulation, systemic rebranding of abuse so that it doesn't sound like a crime anymore. Sexual abuse, that's just an ethics issue. Child neglect, that's just a child taking responsibility for their own condition. Remember, you're always responsible for your own condition. Yes, even if you get raped. Beatings, that's just discipline. We had to get you to come to present time. We had to beat the F out of you so you could come to present time. Don't worry about it. We're helping you. You're here in present time, aren't you? Rape, well, let's call that out ethics behavior. And let's make the victim confess to having pulled that in. Oh yeah, didn't you rape someone else in another lifetime? Yeah, what are you looking at right there? Oh yeah, you raped another person in another lifetime. See, that's why it happened to you right now at the hotel. That's what they're telling kids. These are the Scientology parents. These are the Scientology mandated reporters. These are the Scientology executives that are, according to the law, mandated reporters if they had such severe authority over kids. And please do not take my word for it. Their own founder, L. Ron Hubbard, wrote it into policy. Never report crimes to the authorities. Always handle it internally. The real sin isn't the abuse, it's getting caught. And because of this deliberate, calculated system of silence, how many crimes went unreported? How many kids in Scientology were hurt, abandoned, blamed, punished for what was done to them? How many predators were left unchecked, given free rein to continue their unfeathered access and abuse of kids because no one would call the idiots at the Clearwater Police Department or the idiots at the LA Police fucking Department? More mandated reporters that are utter failures, abysmal fucking failures. For the 10th billion time, what we revealed in that commission meeting is not but the literal fucking tip of the fucking iceberg. And imagine we have an iceberg or our fucking own, but you know what? The big fucking iceberg is inside the hotels, inside their files. Just like the FBI when they went raiding L. Ron Hubbard for infiltrating the government, because you know what? Don't worry about it. Law enforcement, nothing makes law enforcement more pressed than getting infiltrated themselves. Then they, through a racketeering conspiracy there. Oh yeah, Mary Sue Hubbard was really the mastermind of this. Never mind that the FBI already found all the criminal evidence inside the files of these people. So for all the people in law enforcement that want to play dumb, today is not the fucking day you get to fucking play dumb anymore. It's that simple. Don't write laws about mandated reporters when you're going to create a loophole for people that visit a very specific hotel that happens to be in Clearwater, Florida, that happens to operate right here out of Los Angeles, where there is none. There is no mandated reporters. They don't exist. Apparently, you and Scientology have something in common, thinking mandated reporter rules and laws don't fucking apply to any of you. How many times has the LAPD been given front row access to what? Celebrity Center, right? Oh, come to a gala. How many underage minors were there when you were playing your little gala, LAPD? But the stupid ass mandated reporters that you're not, you never saw a child, you never saw something weird. In what world are you comfortable walking into a hotel where they're staffed by minors? Who the fuck can say that? Oh yeah, it's so normal. I mean, I just happens everywhere. Where is another hotel where you can show us is staffed by minors? People stay in those rooms, and then a child from Mexico, a child from Switzerland, a child from London, a child from Australia is going to be making their bed. And not just Tom Cruise. So for all of you who are obsessed with the celebrity angle, miss us with a fucking angle. It is not a misunderstanding of the law. It is not ignorance. It is willful, systemic, institutional refusal to follow it, much less fucking enforce it. Again, you guys, here's all the authority that the Scientology adults have over kids. They place kids on Department 1. We just covered Department 1, Department of Communications. Oh, yeah, they had the 15-year-old. Go back to my last live where I just showed you guys who gets the reports. The report that this degenerate mother of Scientology literally talking about C-SPAN and talking about CP and talking about felonies committed against a family member that was 7-year-old, it would have arrived to this 15-year-old right here. Department 1, Department of Communications, Department 2. A 15-year-old is going to sit there and read that. He's not going to act as a mandated reporter. He doesn't give an F. That 15-year-old is going to be sending that report to the case supervisor, the auditor, the ethics officer, all people that should be mandated reporters, because again, they have authority over kids. That's how the law figures out if you're a mandated reporter or not. Are you in any position to be in authority over kids? Oh no, I have nothing to do with kids, never see a kid ever. Okay, well then you're not a mandated reporter. Oh, do you have authority over kids? Oh, well, they're my juniors, they're my students, they're my PCs, they're my pure people, they're authority over kids. These people are not their parent. See, that's how the law is supposed to catch the predators. But imagine that the law is out there catching fucking flies instead. Smearing shit all over themselves and catching flies. That's about as much of the law that has been applied in regards to mandated reporters. Refusal to follow the law. But now here's where it's going to get even worse, even outside of Scientology. Survivors have come forward, grown adults, recounting the horrors we have endured as kids. What's the response for this deflection, dismissal, redirection? The conversations go towards meaningless distractions. Always. Why? Why? If you're not using your platform to amplify these voices, if you're not speaking out against the institutional abuse, Scientology parents, if you're not standing up for all the kids who had no one to protect them, Scientology parents, really take a look at that. Right now, kids are trapped in the Scientology hotels and at the Scientology commercial buildings. Right now, abuse is still being ignored, still being covered up, still being rebranded as some harmless sounding nonsense so that no one has to do anything about it. Right now, there's children who are going through exactly what so many of us child survivors have already endured. If it is not called what it is, if no one is around to force accountability, if no one is around to demand that these crimes be acknowledged, prosecuted, then it is all being allowed to continue. No more silence, no more euphemisms, no more kids in Scientology, because kids cannot consent. And because this time we will not let them get away with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of your support. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.